Okay, picture the scene. It's Saturday night. You are exactly 5 minutes late for a dinner reservation.
Oh no.
You're standing by the door,
Yeah.
keys in hand, checking your watch, doing that mental math on the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And then your partner walks out of the bedroom, smooths down her dress,
Mm-hmm.
looks you dead in the eye,
Mm-hmm.
and asks the 5 words that strike absolute terror into the heart of every man on earth.
I think I know what they are.
Do I look fat in this?
The panic room.
It is the panic room. It's the ultimate trap. Because every guy knows, I mean, there is no right answer. If you say no too fast, you're being dismissive. If you hesitate for even a nanosecond, you've just admitted she looks like a blimp. It just feels like a no-win scenario.
It certainly feels that way in the moment, like you've just stepped on a landmine wrapped in silk.
Exactly.
But look, we aren't just here to relive your personal trauma or, vent about how confusing relationships can be. We're here to figure out why this happens. Why do these specific questions even exist? And more importantly, is there actually a way to answer them without, ruining the entire night?
That is the mission for this deep dive. We're taking these trap questions and trying to translate them
Yeah.
into a language we can actually speak.
And to do that, we've brought a serious stack of relationship expertise to the table.
We have.
We're pulling from some heavy hitters today. We have Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti by Bill and Pam Farrel, which gives us our sort of structural framework.
Okay.
We've got Shaunti Feldhahn's research in For Men Only, the Gottman's classic, and Baby Makes Three, which is essential. And we're rounding it out with some tactical advice from Ken Davis and Happily Ever After.
So we are decoding the hidden cry for reassurance.
That's the goal. We're going to move from that panic response to understanding the actual psychology behind the question.
Let's start back in that panic room, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bill and Pam Farrel in Men Are Like Waffles, they actually list what they call the questions men fear. And obviously, do I look fat is right at the top. But looking at the list, it's not just about weight, is it?
No, there's a whole genre of these landmines. There's the classic, do you love me? Which, according to the Farrells, usually comes out of nowhere when a man is completely zoned out.
Or the what are you thinking question, which is terrifying because, honestly, half the time I'm thinking about absolutely nothing.
Or penguinese.
Or whether a penguin has knees, yes. But if I say nothing, she thinks I'm hiding something. If I say penguin knees, she thinks I'm an idiot.
It's a trap.
But the fat question is the heavy hitter. Now, the Farrells actually break down the correct male response strategy for this, and I found this hilarious because it's so accurate.
Okay, what is it?
They say the only safe response is a quick, confident, emphatic NO, and then you immediately leave the room.
The drop the mic and run approach?
Exactly. Retreat. But here's the catch, and the Farrells make a huge point of this. Speed is everything. Why is the timing so critical here?
Well, it comes down to how men and women process information differently. This is where their core analogy, waffles versus spaghetti, is so helpful.
Right.
It sounds a bit simplistic at first, but when you dig into the cognitive processing, it really holds up.
Walk us through the waffle brain first.
So they argue that men tend to process life like waffles. A waffle is a collection of separate boxes.
Okay.
You have a work box, a sports box, a wife box. And the walls between these boxes are thick. They're compartmentalized.
That resonates. I am in the logistics box. I'm not in the emotional analysis of my wife's body image box.
Yeah.
I physically cannot be in both at once.
Right, you're single tasking. But women, the Farrells argue, we're like spaghetti. Every noodle touches every other noodle.
Everything's connected.
Everything. So when she asks about the dress, she isn't just asking about the fabric. That question is touching the relationship noodle, the feeling attractive noodle. It's all a tangled mess of emotion and history.
This explains the pause problem, because when she asks the question, I have to switch boxes.
Precisely. When you pause, you're mentally disengaging from the where are my keys box and climbing over the wall to pry open the wife's appearance box. It takes time. But because she's a spaghetti processor, she interprets that silence through her own filter.
She didn't see switching boxes.
No, she thinks he's hesitating because he's trying to find a nice way to say, I look terrible.
That is the tragedy of it.
Yeah.
I'm just buffering, I'm loading the file. But she thinks I'm judging.
And that leads to what Shaunti Feldhahn describes in For Men Only as the deer in the headlights phenomenon.
Right.
She interviewed hundreds of men about this, and the consensus wasn't just annoyance, it was anxiety, actual physiological anxiety.
I found that part of the research fascinating. We usually joke about men being annoyed, but Feldhahn suggests men feel stalled. We freeze up because we know we can't win with logic.
Mm.
If I say, no, you look great, she says, you're just saying that. If I say, well, maybe wear the black one, I'm a monster.
And that freeze response, that stalled moment, is interpreted by the wife as confirmation of her worst fears. It just creates this vicious cycle.
So how do we break the cycle? Because now runaway feels like a short-term fix that just avoids the fight for 10 minutes.
We have to translate the dialect. We have to understand what she is actually asking because, and I'm going to let you in on the secret here.
Okay.
When a woman asks, "Do I look fat?" she is almost never asking for a data report on her body mass index.
She doesn't want the metrics
Yeah.
because my instinct is to look at the fit and give an engineering assessment.
And that is exactly where you fail. She doesn't want the metrics. It is not about the dress.
Okay, if it's not about the dress, what are we actually talking about?
This brings us to the Gottmans' work in the conflict, and Baby Makes Three. They talk about a concept called the harsh startup.
A harsh startup.
Yeah, and this is critical for understanding conflict. A harsh startup is when a conversation begins with criticism or sarcasm or contempt. But here's the twist. The Gottmans found that often when people feel insecure or vulnerable, they don't know how to express that.
It's too scary.
It's too scary to say, "I'm feeling really down about myself today." So instead, that insecurity launches as a harsh question or an accusation.
So the question, do I look fat? Or you probably wish I was skinnier, is actually a defensive maneuver.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
puts you on the defensive immediately. The Gottmans use this vivid example of a pregnant wife trying to squeeze into a fancy dress. She's feeling huge, her body has changed, and she snaps at her husband. "You probably wish I was skinny like those cover girls."
Ouch. See, as a guy, my brain hears that as an attack. I'm thinking, I didn't say anything. Why are you coming at me?
Right. You defend yourself against the accusation. But the real need, if we could translate that harsh startup into what the Gottmans call a softened startup, it's something else entirely.
So what's the translation?
The translation is, "I'm worried I'm not sexy enough for you right now. I need some reassurance."
Wow. That is a massive difference. If a guy heard that, I need some compliments, he would know exactly what to do. He'd step up. He'd be the hero.
He would. But the trap question disguises the need. It cloaks the vulnerability in an interrogation.
I see.
And this links back to Shaunti Feldhahn's research on security. She found this massive discrepancy between what men and women view as security.
Yeah, this was an aha moment for me. For most guys, security is a math problem. It's financial. It's the house, the paycheck. I'm busting my tail to provide security, so I feel like I've done my job.
But for many women, while that matters, the primary drive is emotional security. The question isn't, do we have enough money? It's, are you there for me? Do you still desire me?
So the do I look fat question is actually a security check.
It's a ping. She's pinging the server. Are we okay? Do you still love me?
Wow.
And if you answer with a bored, "No, you're fine," or a logical, "Well, that dress is a bit tight," you have failed the security check.
It's like she's asking for a hug and I'm handing her a calculator.
That is a perfect metaphor. You're addressing the data, not the heart.
Okay, I accept the premise. It's a cry for reassurance. But let's get practical. I'm still stuck in the hallway, 5 minutes late, sweating.
Right.
No, doesn't work. Yes is fatal. What is the third option?
This is where we get tactical. We turn to Ken Davis's book, Happily Ever After. He proposes a maneuver that completely sidesteps the yes-no trap.
The Ken Davis maneuver. I love this. He suggests using a clarifying question.
Right, because you can't answer the surface question. You have to pivot to the real issue.
So the script he gives is, and you have to say this with sincerity, not like a robot.
Yes, tone is everything.
Honey, it seems to me that the more important question is, how does that dress make you feel?
It's brilliant.
It feels risky, though. Doesn't it sound a little like a therapist? And how does that make you feel?
It can if you do it wrong, but think about the mechanics of it. You aren't judging the dress. You're not offering an opinion on her body. You're asking about her experience inside the dress.
And once she answers, let's say she says, well, I feel a bit self-conscious.
Then you have your opening. You say, "I love whatever makes you feel good. If you don't feel good in it, change. But I think you're beautiful either way."
Boom. You've validated her feelings, offered love, and you haven't commented on her weight.
You've stepped out of the judge's seat and into the partner's seat. You're on her team now.
That's a huge shift.
But let's go deeper for a second. Because sometimes even the perfect answer doesn't work. Why do some women ask this question constantly?
Like every time they go out.
Yeah. The Gottmans call this a dream within conflict.
This is where it gets a little heavier. It implies that the argument isn't about tonight's outfit at all.
No. If this is a recurring panic for her, there is a story behind it, a narrative. Maybe she was bullied about her weight in junior high. Maybe she had a critical parent who always commented on what she ate. The fat question isn't about the fabric. It's about a deep-seated wound.
So when she's asking me, she's not really asking me. She's hearing that bully from 7th grade.
In a way, yes. And this is why the husband's role is so high stakes. If you start acting like a judge, yeah, you should probably skip dessert, you aren't just a husband making a comment.
You're aligning yourself with the bully.
You are confirming the voice in her head that says, she's not good enough.
Man, that puts a lot of pressure on the response. So the clarifying question isn't just a trick. It's an invitation to hear that history.
Yes. The husband needs to be a witness to her pain, not a commentator on her body.
Okay.
If you can understand why she feels so insecure, the dream within conflict, you can offer the specific reassurance she actually needs.
Which moves the conversation from, does this dress fit, to, do I belong?
Precisely.
But there's another trap here, the mind-reading trap. This idea that if you loved me, you would just know what I need.
Oh, the assumption trap. This drives men crazy, but it's so common.
We are not mind readers. I cannot stress this enough.
Right. But a wife stands in front of the mirror, sighing. She hopes her husband will hear the sigh, interpret the specific frequency of the sigh, and realize she needs a hug.
And meanwhile, the husband hears the sigh and thinks, she's annoyed that we're late. I better go start the car.
The tragic miss. She wants connection. He thinks she wants efficiency.
And then she gets in the car angry, and he has absolutely no idea why. He thinks he was being a good husband.
Right. And this is where the For Men Only research offers such a cool insight.
What's that?
Shaunti Feldhahn found that when men talk about what makes a woman attractive, it's rarely about being a size 0.
Yeah, this was surprising. They call it the confidence factor.
Men overwhelmingly said that a woman who is comfortable in her own skin, who owns who she is infinitely more attractive than a woman who is technically perfect, but constantly insecure.
I think that's true. Insecurity is exhausting. Confidence is magnetic.
It is. But that puts some responsibility back on the listener, specifically the women listening. You can't put 100% of the burden of your self-esteem on your partner.
We call this the mirror check.
Exactly. Drawing from the concept of self-soothing in TID and Baby Makes 3, there's a point where you have to make peace with your own reflection before you walk out of the bedroom.
You can't use your husband as a human mirror to fix what you don't like about yourself.
No, because it's an impossible job for him. If you hate your body, no amount of him saying, you look great, will actually fix it.
You'll just think he's lying.
You'll just think he's lying. You have to find a way to say, this is me, I'm worthy of love, before you ask for his input.
That takes the pressure off. It means his compliment is the cherry on top, not the whole foundation of your evening.
Exactly. It changes the dynamic from save me from my insecurity to share this evening with me.
So let's try to bring this all together. What is the big synthesis here?
The synthesis is this. Trap questions are usually just clumsy invitations for love. They're awkward, they're scary, they're phrased terribly. But underneath is just a person asking, do I matter to you?
So for the wise listening, what's the actionable step?
The challenge is to use the soft startup. Catch yourself. If you're feeling fat or insecure, try not to ask the trap question. Instead, be brave enough to state the need.
And just say it.
Just say, I'm feeling really insecure about my body right now. I could really use a hug.
If a wife said that to me, I would drop everything. That is clear instructions. I can work with that.
It's vulnerable, but it's effective.
And for the husbands,
Don't panic. Don't answer the data. Don't start analyzing the cut of the fabric. Answer the heart.
step out of the logistics box.
Step out of the box. Hear the insecurity. And give the reassurance of unconditional love. I love you. I love being with you. You're the one I want.
That's the answer to every question, really.
It is. It turns the panic room into a safety zone. A place where you can be insecure and be met with love, not logic.
It's funny, we started this talking about surviving a trap, but it turns out the best way to survive it is just to stop playing the game.
Simple, but not easy.
Exactly. So next time you hear those 5 terrifying words, take a breath. Remember the spaghetti and ask how she feels.
And then tell her you love her.
And maybe, just maybe, you'll still make that dinner reservation on time. Thanks for diving in with us.
See you next time.